I now call upon the Honorable Joseph Nutt to have the floor.
Madam Speaker, Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Leader of Opposition, Honorable Cabinet Ministers, Honorable Members of this House, members of the media, and those watching the program on TV. Madam Speaker, first of all, I wish to congratulate you on a reappointment for another term. We have indeed been a source of inspiration for all, especially the female citizens of this beloved nation. Madam Speaker, I am honored to be sitting in the Fijian Parliament because of the verdict of this nation populace who have voted our Fiji First Party. I congratulate our Prime Minister, the leader of our Fiji First Party, for his dynamic and visionary leadership that led to a decisive victory. At this juncture, I wish to thank many of my friends, namely Mr. Avnesh Raj, Mr. and Mrs. Ramesh Chand, Mukesh Chand, Nalini Devi, Imran Hussain, Mr. Posedi, Parmit Singh, Sayyid Shah, Mr. and Mrs. Naren Kumar, Jasmine Maharaj, my relatives, my wife Vinita Nand, and children Justin and Chetan Nand for their tremendous support during my campaign that propelled me to Parliament from Maro settlement of Singatoka. Madam Speaker, for the last 23 years, I have worked for the Ministry of Education as a teacher of agricultural science, head of Department of Agricultural Science, assistant principal, and subsequently vice principal of various secondary schools in Fiji. I take this opportunity to thank those hardworking teachers, those serving now and those that have retired, school management committees, and district education officers for their service and support during my engagement in the school system over the last 2 decades. Madam Speaker, passion changes into memories, and memories changes into passion. As I revisit my humble beginning in a small cane farming area of Kawakawa in Wangli, Lambasa, my father Shankara Swami was a laborer who was employed by farmers to harvest sugar cane. And my mother, Mariam Santawati Arlappan, a domestic worker, toiled in the hot, friendly northern sun to ensure that I received best of education. Due to intense financial difficulties, I was compelled to leave school at the middle of Form 4, now year 10. However, my parents did not give up. They worked out something and managed to put me back in school after a couple of weeks. Madam Speaker, my journey into the naval profession started as a grantee-night secondary school teacher in the then small rural school, namely Segaga Secondary School in the education district of Maduwata, Bua. Later on, I gained temporary civil servant status before fully being absorbed in the teaching fraternity as a civil servant in 1999. Madam Speaker, alongside my teaching engagements, I took ardent interest in football coaching and over the years have coached various secondary schools, district youth teams, clubs, religious body teams, and on a national level, the districts of Nendi and Nandronga, the Bitfield province. Madam Speaker, there is no doubt that under the able leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister and Honorable Attorney General, there has been striking progress under Fiji First in the last 4 years. Let me briefly dwell on those affecting the areas in which my ministry is involved in. Madam Speaker, there has been the incorporation of various streams of knowledge into the curriculum. Fiji is one of the few countries worldwide which currently has a stand-alone focus on anti-corruption in our curriculum. This is important to continue to reinforce the era of transparency and accountability to which we are committed. This is supported by climate change, consumerism, the power of democracy, and voting in elections, all to ensure that our future generations are active and engaged citizens. Madam Speaker, the Tertiary Scholarship and Loans Board is a game changer, as it now looks at students on the basis of need combined with merit and not on their ethnic background. This is equality in action and reinforces our commitment to the constitutional principle of being equal before the law and of non-discrimination. Madam Speaker, through the Fiji Volunteer Service, some of our retired teachers have been able to serve the needs of our neighbors and to ensure that we benefit not only from their skills, but also from the remittances from the country. We acknowledge that with our retirement age, we are able to present viable options for our teachers to continue their profession, albeit in a different country, while addressing the issue of youth unemployment. Much has been said, Madam Speaker, about our free education, textbooks, milk and wheat bix, and transport assistance. We also need to acknowledge the empowerment of schools through the free education grant, capital expenditure provided by this Fiji First government. This is all aimed at ensuring an inclusive and supportive education system for students and teachers alike. Madam Speaker, in order to support students who are good with their hands and can make a major contribution to scarce skills in the trades, the Technical College of Fiji was established in 2015. We are now working to ensure that students are improved through the accreditation of courses provided and that all the trainees are accredited to ensure qualifications of quality. We have worked to improve the equipment on which trainees are developed to ensure that they are top quality graduates from the Technical Colleges of Fiji. And this and more had been achieved by the Fiji First government, and we look forward to 4 more experience of taking these and other initiatives forward for the benefit of all Fijians. Madam Speaker, I will now look at some of the achievements and engagements of the Ministry of Education, Heritage and Arts. In a meeting with the Permanent Secretary of Education, Heritage and Arts, I have found out the following, and it gives me great pleasure to address this House on developments within the Ministry of Education, Heritage and Arts. This is the largest ministry in civil service and presents a complex but important function in the lives of our young children with a major impact on our current and future economy. Madam Speaker, Fiji's reputation was enhanced early on in the year when the Honorable Attorney General took on the role of the chair of the Council of Commonwealth Education Ministers in Nadi, and steered the minister to adopt the Nadi Declaration, which will guide the work of CCEM over the next 2.5 years. Fiji now has the honor to chair the meeting of ministers over this period and will monitor the implementation of Nadi Declaration while also pushing the ministry to up its game in that period. The Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Baroness Patricia Scotland, praised the organization of the event, and Team Fiji really put its foot front forward under the leadership of the Honorable Attorney General. Madam Speaker, later in the year, the Commonwealth team continuing, Fiji rose to the challenge and is the first Pacific nation to contribute to the Commonwealth Scholarship and Fellowship Plan Endowment Fund, and set to pace for other Pacific nations and small island states to follow suit. This one-time contribution will help to create 4 Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarships for climate resilience and demonstrate our ongoing commitment to climate change. Issues particularly as the Honorable Prime Minister leads the handover of reins to Poland for COP24. The 4 scholarships will allow FNU to host a student from the Caribbean to study its interdisciplinary Masters in Climate Change Mitigation and Resilience, and a USP student to study Masters in Climate Change. The other 2 scholarships will allow students from Pacific to study at the University of West Indies. This initiative is facilitated by the Association of Commonwealth Universities and will no doubt ensure that small island states are able to bring ideas to bring home to address climate changes in all its forms. Madam Speaker, the Ministry also hosted International Network of Library and Voters Oceania Conference, which brought together over 100 of our colleagues from 15 countries to develop a plan of action for libraries in the Pacific, and in doing so to demonstrate the important contribution of libraries to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. There is no doubt that libraries are integral to supporting learning of our students and adults, and the 8 goals will help guide our schools and community libraries to develop further. Madam Speaker, in other areas, the upgrade of facilities for the Fiji Museum continues, as this is important to preserve our rich cultural history. The Department of Heritage and Arts continues to work with the National Heritage Trust to preserve and promote Levuka as a World Heritage Site. Our National Archives also continue to provide historical records reminding of us important events in years and decades gone by. Madam Speaker, this year saw the Ministry taking over the payment of salaries for early childhood care and education teachers. These teachers are now formally contracted by the Ministry, and over 1,400 teachers now enjoy normal conditions of service as any civil servant, including leave. We know that the introduction of this was not without problems, but the Ministry is now in much better position today than it was this time last year. All these appointments have been done through OMRS. Madam Speaker, as part of the modernization program, the Ministry continues to develop the Fiji Education Management Information System. This now allows online applications to be submitted for post, advertised to register for teachers registration through the Fiji Teacher Registration Authority to apply for leave. This has led to requests from Vanuatu, Samoa and Solomon Islands to use the famous architecture so that they are able to collect and analyze data to inform decision making. In the near future, this will be further developed as an app. We will investigate releasing more information publicly as part of increasing transparency. Madam Speaker, let me dwell on the role of parents in creating a literate nation which our government is vigorously pursuing. Parents need to work in hand with the Ministry of Education and teachers in order to ease the process of educating their children. They need to make sure that they as parents provide ample guidance and supervision of their children outside the school hours. As in my experience as a teacher, I have found out that the level of discipline and positive attitude in students have very much declined. Therefore, the parents are required to create intense family bonding and spend ample time with their children so that values such as respect, positive attitude, discipline, and responsibility is inculcated in their children. Madam Speaker, let me narrate a very short story that has great significance into the effects of nation building. The story goes something like this. A child was walking home from school from a hard day in school. As he walked past the cane fields, negotiating the thin trades, he became thirsty. He took out a billow from his bag and reached for the nearby creek to scoop some water to quench his thirst before continuing the usual journey to his home. As he scooped the billow of water ready to drink, he realized that the water in the billow was muddy. He waited patiently for the sediments in the water to settle down before he could get cleaner water to drink. He realized that the muddy water in the billow is going through a process of sedimentation. Madam Speaker, our nation, under the guidance of our Honorable Prime Minister, is also going through a process of sedimentation. As far as the development specs is concerned, it will take some time before all areas in our beloved nations are fully developed through the various initiatives and development projects. It can also be said that the sedimentation is taking place in people's mind. Madam Speaker, that is a problem of the opposition. The honorable members of the opposition can't digest that they actually lost the election. We won. That is a problem with them. Madam Speaker, I think it pains them very much. Madam Speaker, I want to remind the honorable opposition members, we have 2 doctors here, we can ease your pain. Thank you so much. Madam Speaker, I ask the honorable members to actively involve in saving the nation's populace so that the process of sedimentation is much quicker. We must constantly remind ourselves that we are here for a purpose, and let us do this duty honestly and faithfully. May the Lord guide and bless Fiji. Thank you for your patience.